Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Get Busy. Hey, thanks for joining us this week. Today's show is going to be epic with our guest, Wade Harman. But you know what? Before we get to Wade, I want to give a shout out to my partner in crime, Kitty. Kit, man, you freaking knocked it out of the park with your write up of our show last
Oh,
week. That was flipping freaking awesome. I loved it. I mean, you do a great job every week, but wow, you just took it to
oh,
a
thank
whole
you.
other level. So, I
Thank
just want to
you.
let you know that I appreciate it, and I know everybody on our panel does. So, thank you so much. That was so cool. So, guys, definitely check it out, and we'll provide a link to that. But, Kitty, just so you know, every week, about a week or so after the show, Kitty does an awesome and amazing write-up, a recap of last week's show. So of course, I always want you to come in and check us out. But if you ever want to read a great recap of the show, check in with Kit about a week after every show, and she'll knock your socks off.
Oh
So
boy, it makes
yeah.
me so happy. It's just
And before we get to Wade, I'd like to welcome everyone from the panel. Christine, Kristen, Dennis, thank you guys for all that you do all the time too. Dennis rocking out our lower thirds. These are completely and totally awesome. So welcome again to Get Busy, and let's jump right into this week's topic. So last week we had the pleasure of having Kelly Holmes on our show, and we talked about the importance of building relationships through networking. And one of her key takeaways was to whenever you're networking, make the conversations about the other person instead of just yourself. And if you go into a networking situation with that premise, it'll just make it so much easier to begin to build a relationship. And what's really cool is this week we're going to carry on that conversation. So the next step of building a relationship is carrying that relationship and building it and growing it. And we're so fortunate to have on our show this week Wade Harman. And Wade is all about building relationships online. And he says people these days have a twisted sense of how marketing is done, and he's here to set them straight. His whole thing is become a hero, one individual at a time, and stop marketing to the masses. One-on-one investment in time and personalize everything you do, that's going to help you take your business to the next level. So Wade, I'd love to welcome you to Get Busy. How's it going this morning?
Oh, it's going really well. Thanks so much for having me on the show, James and Kitty and Dennis and Christine and Kristen. I think I got everybody right. Did I write that? What you just wrote? It made me sound really smart. Somewhere.
You know what? Actually, Wade, you did. I pulled that from your about page on Google Plus. So you are a smart guy, especially when it comes to marketing. I think you're a genius. So I'm so
Well,
excited to have you on the show today and kind of pick your brain
I
about.
definitely wouldn't call myself a genius at it. It's just I like to think of it as just me being me because I don't have a marketing background at all. There's this anybody on this panel could probably beat me at the concept of marketing. It's just I think that the relationship part of it is something that I'm good at, so I try to help other people be good at it too.
Well, yeah, and we sure appreciate that, Wade. So I want to start off by asking you. Let's take it back. So I want to talk a little bit about you and who you are, right? So tell me a little bit about where you grew up and how you were raised had an influence on your life.
I am a purebred German. I can trace my ancestry all the way back, 200, 300 years, back to Germany, and these guys were excellent coal miners. And if you'll look at the way the coal mining is being done in America today, it's because of these Germans that immigrated over to the New World, and they did what they knew how to do, and those tactics are still being used today in the coal mines. So I grew up in a coal mining community here in a town called Richlands, Virginia, and it's about an hour from the Bristol racetrack. Everybody's heard of NASCAR and the Bristol racetrack. So I'm about an hour from there, and that's how I can kind of lock people in on my location geographically. I grew up in a small town, and basically in my town, you're one of two things. You're either a doctor or you're a coal miner. Now, most of the guys around the area don't have the money to become a doctor, go 12 years to school, pick a specialty, and then go 2 more years and finish that specialty, and then have a huge load of college loans to pay off when you can just step right out of high school into a $24 or $25 an hour job working underground, which was what I chose to do. And my dad was a coal miner. His dad was a coal miner. His dad before him was a coal miner, and so on. I mean, it just goes on. I've traced it back. I'm a 5th generation coal miner, and hopefully I've broken the cycle so that my 2 sons won't have to go underground for a living, because I really don't want them to have to do that. It seemed like whenever I was growing up, there wasn't many options as far as you could get a college degree, but around here, if any of you live in a small town like I do, and you want to stay in the small town, it doesn't really benefit you to get hardly any kind of degree. Now later I did go back and get a psychology degree, which I just thought that was interesting to do. But before all that happened, I actually worked at one of the largest coal producers in America called CONSOL Energy, and just worked as a coal miner. And I think around 2010 or 2011, I can't remember, there was a coal mining accident that basically took me out of the mines, and I was standing. If you want to hear the story, I was standing on. There are these cables that when you mine coal, if you understand the machines that they use to do it, there are these 20, 40 foot long pieces of metal, but they're only about 2-3 foot tall, and the dude can stand back and operate it like a radio controlled car. You can do it from a distance, which shows you how far advanced the coal industry has come. Used to, they had to sit inside of the cockpit and drive the thing and suck all that coal dust in their lungs, which of course you know what that leads to. So nowadays these guys can stand 40, 50 feet away and run the machine. Now, it's not cordless. It has a cord to it, and there's a power center that runs from the miner machine, and the miner cord, they call it a miner cable. It's about as thick as your arm, and it runs all the way about 190 feet down the straight. And I was winding that cable up. We was going to do a power move and go up another 190 feet, and I had one leg in the loop, which was about 6 loops high, and one leg out of the loop. So I was straddling the fence, so to say. And the dude that was running the scoop, which is basically just a machine that hauls things, he didn't know that I was in there, and he went ahead and just jerked it. He was going to go ahead and take it up, and when he did, my left foot was planted, and he twisted me around, and it just ripped my kneecap just off. I didn't know you could rip your kneecap off, but it just ripped my kneecap off, and my leg twisted around to the left from the knee down, and it was really painful. And
yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, so most of the stuff that I did, you had to crawl around. I was in 30, 40 inches of coal, which is, take a tape measure and measure up 30 inches from the ground. That's the height I had to work in. So most of the things that I did, I had to crawl. So there went my career, because I can't crawl anymore. I can walk, pretty decent, but you can tell, I've got the limp. So there I was, didn't have schooling, didn't have any other professional career, just coal mining. And I was making good money. I was making about $28 an hour, and with a family, and making ends meet just fine. And if you read my last post on my blog, I talked a little bit about that. I'm sorry, no, I don't either. I'm writing a post, excuse me, this is going to come out this Monday, that talks a little bit about, how I didn't really have a plan. I didn't see what was coming past the next day. So there I was, out of a job and nowhere to go, nothing to do, and so I was stuck with no money. I went from $7,000 a month to nothing overnight, and a wife and 2 little boys. It's stressful. It's really stressful.
Yeah.
I never really got on the internet until probably 2005. I know that's hard to believe, but I just didn't have no use for it. I didn't email people. I didn't do social media. All the friends that I had were around here. And that was good enough for me. But in 2005, I remember I went to Google to do a search, and the little cursor was just blinking off and on. And I thought to myself, I can search for anything that I want to, and I have no idea what I want to search for. And so I just clicked the little X button and got out, and I didn't get on the internet again until 2008.
Wow.
So my experience with the internet was just, at my first experience with it was just astounding. It was just, I knew this was just a massive hole where I could go anywhere, and I felt stupid because I didn't know where I wanted to go. You know what I mean? When I got back on it in 2008, there was a social media site called Bebo. Anybody remember Bebo.com? It was kind of like Facebook, and I would go on there and communicate with some friends and stuff, and of course at this time I'm still working in the coal mines. And then in 2011, when that happened to me, I was stuck. Couldn't do a job. I wasn't schooled for any other job, and so I started going online. I knew you could make money online. I'd heard all about it. I'd seen the TV ads. I said, go here, make this money, whatever. And I wasted a ton of money on these get-rich-quick schemes because I didn't have the experience to know that these people were lying to me. I'm not a liar, and I'm a very trusting person because I feel like that you should be able to trust me, so therefore I'm going to trust you too. I guess it's my downfall. But I would trust these people. I would read these long squeeze pages. You know the type. It tells you about how you can make this and where they're at, and they know exactly what you're going through. And I'm like, man, this guy is speaking to me. He knows exactly what I'm doing, so I get my money. I'm $47. There we go. And I pay it, and nothing happened. And so finally, I made a decision. I said, well, I need to get a website, my own website. I had a little blogspot blog that wasn't making any money, and I said, well, I'll look more professional if I can, get this self-hosted thing. And again, I didn't know anything about it. Didn't know how to hook it WordPress to GoDaddy or HostGator or Bluehost or one of these hosting sites. I didn't understand how all that worked, and I made an $800 mistake. A dude got wind that I needed this done, and he said, I'll build you a website. He said, I'll hook it to your hosting, and he said, I'll put your theme on it, and he said, it'll cost you $800. Now, I didn't know. Who knows? I thought that was what it was. And more power to him. He saw a need, and he capitalized on it, but it was a mistake that I had to learn. Later found out that I could do that myself in about 5 minutes. So I paid him $800 for a 5-minute job, which kind of ticked me off a little bit. But again, had to learn about it. But then, as I blogged, I was telling people, I was running out of money. The savings that I had with the coal mines was, swiftly disappearing, and I was getting anxious. I was getting, I need to make money. And when you need to make money and you're a blogger, your readers see that. Your readers can see right through you when you're trying to push something over on them. And I had about 2 months into it, I had about 20 readers. That was, pretty faithful. But I was telling people that I was making money, and I wasn't. I was lying. I was telling people how you could do this, and I wasn't doing it myself. I was lying to them, and my wife said, "Why do you do that? That's not, that's not the way you are." She said, "Just be the way you are." And so I switched up my blogging, and I said, "Well, this is who I am. This is what I can do. And when I learn something, I'm going to show you. You may already know this, but I'm learning it, and I'm going to put it down as I learn it." And steadily, my blog started to get more traction. And the more honesty that I showed people, the more trust that I built. And 9 months after I started the bloggersmakemoney.com blog, I got nominated into the top 25 social media blogs on Social Media Examiner. That was back in 2013.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't win. I didn't get the top 10. The whole deal is the top 10 blogs. You get a little badge that you can put on your website. And but 9 months in, I did make the final list because I got a link in Social Media Examiner. One morning I woke up and 800 people had visited my blog before 11 o'clock in the morning. I said, "What in the world? This doesn't happen." It's because I wasn't getting that much traffic. And from then, thankfully I had a list, and I was getting 50 to 60 email subscribers. In 3 days, the Social Media Examiner, my stats from that link, I got 800 and some visitors the first day. The second day I got about 600. The third day I got about 400. So it was a stair step, back down to where I was again. But when it was all over, I was smart enough to understand that I needed the list. I needed to be honest with people. And so I was getting about 50 to 60 subscribers in those 3 days. And that's how I built my audience. I took those few, 200 or 300 people plus the subscribers that I already had, and I've just built on it from there. And along the way, I figured out, you can't tell people just anything. You've got to build the trust yourself. You've got to, be honest with people. And it's not like, I understand that if you have an email list that has 10,000 people in it, that's great. That's awesome. But when the email list goes out, the whole group isn't like we are right now. You're watching this hangout with other people. You're not with each other, but you're watching this hangout with other people. But right now, I'm talking to you. And that's the way the email is. Even though 10,000 people may be reading it, that one person is the one you're wanting to connect with. And I just built on the relationship marketing from there, and since then it's just went, it's just blew up on me. I'm still not rich, but I make a decent living at it now. And I guess that's the whole long story. I didn't mean to take up so much time.
No, you know what, Wade? That's awesome, because we're here to learn about your story and learn about how you turned it around and actually made a successful business out of what you do. So we already are, the comments are going crazy. So we already have some comments or questions. We have a shout out from Cheryl. She wants to know if you'll play your guitar. I guess you're pretty awesome at it. Maybe between now and the end of the show, we'll have you grab your guitar and you can strum a little bit for us.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. So hey, tell me why is it that relationships are so important to you, Wade, and why do you think that's not just to you? I mean, I want to start with why it's important to you, but then take it to the next level, and why is it important for any business to form solid relationships?
Relationships are important to me just because I like people. When I first started blogging, I mentioned that I wanted to make money. And when I wanted to make money, I didn't make money. But when I focused on the people that, were important to me, like my wife said, just be yourself, be the way you are, and people will come to you. And she has no idea. She's not even here right now, so she don't hear me say this, but she has no idea how right that she was whenever I just put the make money schemes away and just focused on what I like doing, which is people. Relationships are important to me because I am a people person. It's not because I want to make money from you at the end of the day. It's nice, and I'm going to give you a great deal at the end of this show on a product that I created to make money on. But that's not my end result. My end result is to grow a network and a following. It's funny. I watched Ryan Hanley's hangout this past week with his name slips my mind. Business to social. Mark Schaefer, the business to social or business to grow guy, and he says that people are saying engagement is the key. Engagement is the best thing you could have, and I agree with that. But I also agree with what he says. You can go broke on engagement.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here to engage. That's a strategy. That's a part of it. But the end result is to make money. For me, I need to make money to eat on, to support my family. I won't deny that. But I kind of disagree with the social media pro. For me, it is engagement now. So I can eat tomorrow because the engagements that I did yesterday and last week are paying me today. So if you get the engagement now, it will pay you in the long run, and that's where the businesses can, the business approach can come to it. If you're engaging and you're making relationships your number one priority, your number one goal, you're dropping the B2B and the B2C part, and you're doing people to people, and that's where it gets strong. Because if you can market to one individual, then that one individual will tell another individual, and then that one will tell another one. There's nothing more powerful than word of mouth marketing, and that's basically what I believe that relationship marketing is. Yes, it takes a whole lot longer to do, but in the end, you will be sitting on a pile of success.
I love it. Hashtag people to people marketing. Hashtag sitting on a pile of success. I love that. Hey, Wade, I want to throw questions open up questions. I'm sorry, to our panel. So, panelists, are there any of you guys who have some questions for Wade?
Yeah. I know Kristen and Christine had questions. So.
Okay, let's start with Kristen.
Okay, I was gonna let Christine go. Okay, so Wade, how important is it, do you think, to have your spouse's support? Like, how is having her support influence your influencing others? Because it sounds like it's pretty strong.
It has. My wife, you don't see a lot of pictures of her because she doesn't allow me to show people what she looks like. She's beautiful, beautiful dark-headed woman, and just swept me off my feet. She asked me on our first date, and yeah, I always kid her about that. She says that she didn't, but she really did. Since she has no way of defending herself now, so we'll just have to take my word for it. But her support is crucial to me, and there are days when I get frustrated. I still get frustrated. Something happened to me yesterday. Somebody tried to kill something that I was doing by going behind my back and just stabbing me in the back with it. It frustrates me because I would never do that to people. But when I'm frustrated, she says, look where you're at. Look where you're going. This is what you're doing. She's my goalkeeper. She reminds me of where I'm going. Now, there are days when she gets frustrated, and thankfully on those days I'm up and I am excited about what I'm doing. When I first started, I didn't make any money for 8 or 9 months, and that was a long time to go without a paycheck. And through that time, I got to give her credit for it. She was a trooper, and she just kept pushing me. You can do this. You're a great writer. She just kept building me up in my mind, because after the 3rd month, I was ready to go home. I was ready to quit and do something else, maybe find something else to make money from. And she was just like, keep going. You're almost there. And so I think the support of your significant other is crucial to your success online, because if you do live in the same house with somebody else that you share a bed with or a bill with, then their support is necessary, because if they're not on board, it's going to make it a whole lot harder for you to become successful, because you're not only fighting against the tides of success online, but then you're fighting it on the home front too, because they don't understand.
That's awesome, Wade.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great.
Can I touch on this one?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a slightly opposite scenario where everybody in the world that knows me knows who my wife is. But believe me, there is no way I could do anything I'm doing if I didn't have that support. Now, that support may be completely behind the scenes, as it is with Wade's wife, or it may be she's actually better than I am at social media, as is my case, even though she doesn't do it for a living. But the support of your spouse, however that plays in, is incredibly vital to your success in this industry.
Oh, I completely agree too. Even as a writer myself, I mean, if my husband wouldn't support me, because there are lots of other, external and internal negativity that's going around you. So you need at least one pillar of support, somebody who you can lean on, during, the times of, oh my God, I just want to give up right now. And if my husband ever gives me grief, I'm like, dude, you're doing what you love, so just let me be. So.
Way to go.
I love this. Let me see if I can find it here. I love this comment from Lee Rickler. He says, bet my wife's more beautiful.
Yes, I saw that.
That's awesome. That's the way it should be, man.
I'm sorry. Already starting with the throwdowns. I love it. Hey, Christine, you had a question for Wade?
I don't have a question. I just have to bring this up before I lose my chance to. Wade, you are like my new professional crush. I am so in love with your concepts and your ideas and your mindset. Just thank you. Thank you for being transparent and sharing, because I feel like we have a similar outlook when it comes to social networking, and I just wanted to thank you. You're such an inspiration to me.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's a nice thing to say. I mean, I just try to, the way I'm acting right now is the way I act in the green room, in the living room, in the bedroom. Well, you know what I mean. It's a little bit more wild in that area, but you know what I'm saying, you have to be transparent. You have to be predictable to people, because people like consistency. They don't like change. They don't like when you're changing your profile picture 3 times a week. They don't like that stuff. They like that consistency in that, because it builds trust. They like consistency in a blog. If you're blogging 3 times a week for 2 years and all of a sudden you drop down to 1 time a week, then you lose that trust. Consistency is the key to everything. I mean, even relationships.
Yes.
Hey, Wade, so let's kind of take it to the next level, and let's talk about what are the important characteristics of building good relationships in business versus building personal relationships. So where are things similar and where are things a little bit different when you're building relationships for business purposes?
I think things are similar in the case that you are yourself. You're not trying to be someone else in both scenarios. When you're building a relationship for a business, to be honest with you, I still treat it like a personal thing. I don't look at it as I'm going to make money off you later, evil laugh. I don't think of it like that. I go and I did a hangout last night about Circuloscope. You can check my YouTube channel out for that. I use tools like Circuloscope and Nodex to help me find people that are talking about the same stuff I'm talking about, which is not a lot of people are talking about relationship marketing, so I have to branch out a little bit. And I also like to talk about Google Plus marketing and blogging and stuff like that. So it helps me find people that are talking about the same things that I'm talking about. So, you still have to be personal, but in a business sense, if I was just, I feel like everybody here is my friend. Let me take for instance Shannon. I believe Shannon Hernandez is in the audience right now. I talked to the guy on the phone. He's gave me some good solid advice. Shannon is my friend. I didn't have any thoughts in my head that this guy was going to buy any kind of product from me, and so, but I still done the steps. You know what I mean? It's just like what your mom told you: be nice, be kind, be polite, be helpful, be friendly, and be yourself. But when you take it from the personal level and cross over into the business level, is you have to, and I did a post on this yesterday. You have to forget about yourself, forget about your blog, forget about your product, and the way you do your marketing and your promotion, and you find a handful of people every month and promote them. Yeah, okay, so say I write one time a week. I blog, I have a published article every Monday that comes out. That's the only time I promote myself. I promote myself one time a week. Every other time, I'm out resharing Shannon's posts. I'm resharing Kitty's posts. I'm resharing Nick Cardot's posts. I'm trying to build them up, because you have to get them to where they want to be before you can get to where you want to be. And it's all about building that trust and being consistent in doing that. Here's an idea: find 5 people. Using either Nodex, Circloscope, or whatever tool that you can find, even if it's Google Ripples. Find 5 people that you like and that talk about the same things you talk about. And these have to be 5 people that you've never talked to before or never engaged with. And start sharing their stuff. Do your homework on them, do your background on them, make sure they're doing consistent stuff. Don't share stuff that you don't read. I'm a big stickler for that. There are a handful of people that, Mark Trapagan is one of them. If he shares something on Google Plus, if I think it's relevant, I will reshare that. I don't even have to read it because I trust Mark. But most of the time, before I share, I will go read the post. Do your homework on people, read the stuff that they're writing or they're promoting, and then once you see that yes, these people are, do have my followers' best intentions at heart, then you can start to consistently reshare them. And once you start doing that, guess what? A connection is going to be made. They're going to start reciprocating that share. And the more people that you get doing that, of course, you already know the end result to that. But I believe that's the differences between being personal with people and being in a business sense. Of course, I'm still going to share people like Shannon. He's my friend. I'm going to share his stuff when I think it's relevant or helpful. He did a post the other day that I really liked. Shared it out. Again, he's not going to buy anything off of me. He may, but I don't expect it. But the business side of it is it may be a little bit more time involved, rather than just a casual conversation that I may have with either Shannon or Sarah Lamoth. So it's that forgetting about your marketing when it comes to the business side of it.
Hey, Wade, I just love your humility, the humbleness that you bring to the equation, and just the mere fact that you're building relationships, but you have enough sense also to understand that there is a business aspect to it, and we all need to make money. I mean, we're not in this just to build relationships I mean, we understand that it is business and that we need to make money. But if we can all do it with the humility that you bring to the table in this, that would be just awesome and amazing. Hey, and we have some comments. So, Kitty, go ahead.
No, I just thought I like what Carmen said. She says, apply what you learn in the sandbox. Share and don't throw sand in anyone's face. And then Christopher, he's a riot. He's like, don't think of the sandbox as a litter box. But Wade, I have a question for you, if you don't mind. Now, I'm where you were in 2005. I guess I am not a techie at all. I don't understand technology at all. But my question is, I often struggle. I mean, how do you balance, the making money part with the engagement part? How do you, as a newcomer, from a newcomer's perspective, somebody who's just starting out, how does that person balance, forming relationships at the same time who's also trying to make some money? How did you go through that? I mean, how did you go through that when you were starting out? What was your thought process like? How did you move,
Well, my thought process was this. I've got to make money today. I've got to make it right now. I've got to go do this to make money. I've got a blog to make money. And I've got, it was all about making money. And my mind was crowded with bad thoughts and bad energy of making money. And get rid of making money. It's not balanced at all. Money is not even in the balance. Relationships hold the key. Engagements hold the key. You're not going to make money right away, but you need to build your network. And I write one post a week. I write it on Wednesdays. I publish on Mondays. Where am I at everywhere else of the time? Google Plus. And it's because I'm building that network. I'm not focused on my blog. My web guy, Jason Mathis, he can't stand this. I could care less about analytics. I really don't. And he's got all my passwords. He tracks the analytics and stuff for me. He's like, dude, you gotta look at Google Webmasters. And I said, I'm not, just like you, Kitty, I'm not technical either, so I don't even have to understand it anyway. So it's not going to do me any good. Do I want people to come to my website? Yes. But my main goal right now is to build that network of people that are going to trust me, so that when I do release a product, Mary Smith released her book, The New Relationship Marketing. You can get that on Amazon. It's worth your time. It talks about building your network of people. Be consistent on your blog. That's for you. Make sure you're helping somebody that happens to come on your blog. Make sure you set a consistent schedule. But your money is out there, and it's in the people, and you have to cultivate. You got to be a farmer. You can't be a hunter. You gotta cultivate these people and grow that following. And it's going to take what I hate about this whole thing is that the time that it does take. I wish I had a secret formula that you could do steps 1 through 6 and then make $3,000 every month. I don't. It's not going to happen. I see your post, Kitty. I see the way you connect with your followers on Google Plus. Your writing is superb. It's tremendous. It paints a picture in my head the way you write, and your engagement is right there. Just you have to keep doing what you're doing and be consistent. And before long, those 20, 30 plus ones are going to turn into 200 and 300 plus ones, and your engagement's going to grow. There's no time limit on that.
Thank you. Because I'm kind of like you in a way that I'm not very comfortable engaging with 500 people as much as I'm comfortable engaging with 10 people that I really care about and who care about me. So I'm not the numbers girl at all. I used to be, and then I realized that was not the way I wanted to be, because that was not me. So I stopped chasing the numbers, and I just kind of connect with people I want to connect and take it from there. But like you said, it does take time, and sometimes it gets frustrating because you are working hard, you are doing your part, but like you said, there's no step 1 to 6, and that's like, so my struggle is like, how do you get past the frustration, and just keep doing what you're doing? So that's something that I've.
That's a very good question. I guess you get past that frustration when the checks start rolling in. But it's consistent work, and you said that you are more comfortable talking or corresponding with a group of 10 people rather than 500. Well, when you write on Google Plus, this is the way I do it. Whenever I go to share my post, I write like my wife is going to read it later. I write for one person, and that's for her. You know, that's a secret I've never told anybody. But when I write something, I write like she's going to read it, and she doesn't know anything about this, and so that's why some of the stuff that I say is really simple things, and sometimes people forget about the simple things, and it makes me look really smart and really astounding. But in fact, you know, in fact, the matter is, it's just I'm trying to help that person that needs to help me, and that's her. And so if she feels like she can, you know, make this happen just from what I've written, then write to those 10 people that you feel comfortable about, and 5,000 people will feel connected to it.
Hey, Wade, we have a comment that Kristen put up, and I want to come to that in just a second. But I also want to talk to you just briefly about once you get the engagement, once you've got the engagement and you're feeling comfortable with that, there is a point where you have to figure out what makes sense and what is a sensible way to monetize that engagement. And so can you take us through kind of that process? Because I think that might be the missing link for Kitty, because I think Kitty has great engagement. I think she has the audience that she needs to actually take that next step and come up with a strategy to monetize what she's doing. But take us through the process of how do you now go from, okay, I'm engaging, I'm doing the right thing socially, but I think sometimes there's a feeling like, a guilty feeling like, okay, now I'm going to take these people's money, kind of bridge that gap for us.
That's a huge guilty feeling for me. In fact, I don't tell Jim this, and Jim is going to be really mad at me for this, but you know, I never share Get Busy's invites anymore. You know why? Because I'm not on Google Plus too much, so I'm not getting the opportunity to share other people's hangouts. So I feel extremely guilty when I have to just share mine. So I don't share mine because I'm like, you know, that makes me feel very selfish. You know, like how can I share mine, but I'm not really sharing someone else's because I'm busy with something else now, so I'm not able to give as much time to Google Plus as I used to. So, you know, how do you know, I think Jim put it really well. It makes me feel bad because today, I don't know why, sometimes social media frustrates me in that I feel like everybody is engaging with, you know, some expectation in mind. And I don't think if you really want a genuine following in social media, I don't think you should have a strategy. I think you should just have a heart, you know, and you should just engage with people that, you know, you truly connect with, not because it's going to give you something. But I see people who are doing the wrong thing, and they're popular, you know, they're making money, they're doing good, but I'm like, today, you know, I don't think they even deserve it. And there are some people that are putting in the hard work, but I think they're just too nice. You know, sometimes I'm like, how do you balance being nice but also, you know, monetizing and doing everything? So it's this constant struggle that I always go through.
I think that, you know, there is, once you start to ask for the money, well, I'll just, you know, Shannon Hernandez again. Here it comes, Shannon. I know how to be nice. I know how to make a friend. I know how to build a relationship. But when it comes to, I know how to even, you know, build a product or create a product that people want. But when it comes to putting that product in play, there are still strategies that, you know, you have to go by the steps. I was in Oklahoma and I called Shannon and I said, look here, I'm gonna do this course. I've got a course in mind. I don't understand how to write the sales page, because a sales page has to be written with call to actions and, you know, things that will make people react and hit the buy now button or whatever. He walked me through a couple of things because that's his area of expertise. I think that the people that are not capitalizing on, say, you know, this is what I did, Kitty. You know, for the past 6-8 months, I've been hitting relationship marketing really hard, and people are responding to the relationship marketing posts that I've written or the Google Plus updates that I've shared out. So I take the engagement and I look and I measure the engagement of each post. Which one did they engage on the most? Why did they engage on this post? It's where it gets a little bit technical, but if you're wanting to create a product, you have to do the research. What are people wanting to see? Now, I think that people put other people on a pedestal. I don't deserve to be put on a pedestal by any means. I'm no better than anybody else. But when I went to speak in Tulsa, there were 6 people that drove like 6 hours just to come and meet me. And so people, you start you be consistent, and people will put you up there as an expert or that professional that they can go to. So when you do bring a product, and lay it at their feet, they're going to be like, awesome, I've been waiting for this. This is a chance for them to get inside the mind of Kitty, to get inside the mind of James and Wade. And there are, you've spent your time cultivating that network, like I said, and you've built that trust up. Now it's time to bring the product forth because people want that. They want that product. This course that I'm doing, it's really helped a lot of people. And did I feel bad for giving this course? I charged $97 for the course, and no, I didn't feel bad for charging people that much money because I spent. Kristen was part of the beta group, and so was Sarah Lamoth. She was out there in the audience. What did I spend 4 or 5 months doing it? And so I put a lot of time and put a lot of effort in it. And
constantly with us and asking us questions. Yeah, you were totally bomb on that.
Yeah, so
full investment.
Yeah, I didn't want to just take my own perception of what I thought the course could be. I wanted, outsiders' opinions. How can I make this better? You guys are the ones that are engaging with me. How can I make this better for the public, the people that put me on the pedestal? And so I didn't want to flop on it. So I opened a beta group, and I let them tell me what I needed to fix or what I needed to change. And then it was, I don't think you should feel bad for giving something a part of your hard work and a part of what works for you, and charge.
I guess what you're saying is if your intention is true, you don't have to feel bad about trying to monetize your work, because again, if you don't make money, then you won't be able to help more people. You can look at it that way too. I mean, if you never make money, how are you going to grow your business? How are you going to provide value to others? So I guess once you have the true intention and the genuine intention, I guess you take it from there. That makes sense. Thank you.
I'll just tell you this: the money that I'm making from this course, it's actually going back into relationship marketing. I'm not buying groceries with it. I'm not paying my car payment with it. I'm putting it back into relationship marketing. So I can bring people a book, a hard copy book that they can. It costs me money to publish that thing. So it's just going into another project. But you can do whatever you want to with it. But for me, I've decided to just kind of stair-step it to the next level, and just put the money into books and things like that.
Could you tell us more about your course? I mean, I'm definitely interested. If you want to just talk a little bit more about it, what's it about, and how did you start? How did you come up with that idea? Why did you come up with that idea?
Well, I came up with the idea because there was about 50-some people, I believe it was 50-some, that had emailed me or private messaged me on Google+. And they said, "How do you do this?" And it was just, there's so many steps to doing what I do every day to cultivate these new people. And so I just said, well, look, I'll create something. Are you interested? I created a circle of interested people that wanted to buy this. I said, this is how much it'll be. Give me 4 months, and I'll bring you something that you can just use every day. It's a one-time fee. You can come back to the site whenever you need to be reminded of that. And they said, yes. And so it consists of 15 videos. Now, they're not talking heads. It's not me talking at the camera. That's boring. Nobody wants to see me 15 times in a video. So what I've done is I've screen shared, and I'm waiting on a retort from Christopher Vogelman on that too. So what I'm doing is I've done a screen share, and I would just go through my normal day of what I would do to build relationships, and I've cut them up into 15 videos. One shows you how to build relationships using Google Ripples. I show you how to build relationships and find people with Nodex, Circle Scope. I also have how to get an influencer's attention. When I first started on Google Plus, Mark Trapp-Hagen, and he still is one of the go-to guys on Google Plus, I knew I needed to be that guy's friend. And I approached him, and you can even ask him. He said he gets, 50 to 100 people approaching him every day. Read my content, do this, be closer to me. And he says that my reaching out to him was so much more personal that he responded back to me. And now I've even been at an event in Raleigh where we spoke together. So I mean, the relationship is just built. And I think that's a very important one. It's how to get the influencer's attention, start building a relationship with an influencer. All kinds of different things that you can do, and a lot of them are technical and hard. Others are very simple. Basic etiquette rules. What you need to do to get people. It's what you need to do to get people start paying attention to you right now. Oh yeah, I forgot. The course, I mentioned the course was $97, and for those people that are in the audience today, I've dropped the price to $47. And if you go to the site, it's got, I'll give a link in the event comments. It's got a video, and then it's got a buy now button. That's the button I've changed to $47.
And how long is this discount applicable? Is it for today or for the week, or how long?
I'll do it for the rest of the day.
Right. See, it pays to be a Get Busy Dream audience, people.
It definitely pays to be in the Get Busy Dream audience in so many different ways, right? Hey, Wade, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. I don't know if you remember this, but several months ago, you and I had a Google Plus conversation, and we were talking about influencers, and I don't want you to mention any names, but there was an instance where you were trying to establish a relationship with an influencer, and it went kind of wrong. It went south. Again, without giving any names, do you want to talk to us a little bit about that? Because we've all had our kind of, well, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us have had a desire to try and connect with somebody of influence, and probably many of us have had that same situation where it kind of goes bad. So maybe if you want to talk to that and give us some advice where we don't make kind of the same mistake that you did.
Yeah, I tell you what, I have made a lot of mistakes. I still make mistakes. I'm no expert or professional at relationship marketing. In my Google Plus tagline, it says a relationship marketing enthusiast. So I definitely make sure I'm not saying I'm an expert, because I do make mistakes, and there's a lot. I do remember that one instance, Jim. My mistake was that I rushed it. I thought I was better than what I really was, and I rushed into it. Now, what was it been, 6-8 months ago? Now I have an established relationship with that person now. But what I did wrong was I went in too quick, too hard. And different people will respond differently to you, which is one of the things that I show in this course. And there are about 3 or 4 different responses that everybody will respond to. But it's almost like a toss-up. If you don't know the person, you've never met them before, maybe never heard them speak, you just know their name, then it's almost a toss-up of which one do I pick. That's why there's still a workaround. You don't, instead of just blasting out at this person, what I did was, now with Mark Trapp-Hagen, I did come to him, and I did just say, hey, this is who I am. I'd love, to make, to be friends, or whatever it was I said. I still can't find that post. But he responded to that. He kind of wrote my notes down, but I didn't follow the steps with this one particular person. So do the steps, and the steps are to make yourself visible, make yourself engaged, and from there be consistent with that. You can't make. I'm writing a post for Social Media Examiner right now, and in that post, I don't know if they'll leave this sentence in here or not, but in that post I said, influencers are rare species. They're very skittish. You can't just go up to an influencer and start talking to them if they don't know you. They've got tons of stuff to do. They're too busy. You know, you've got to get on their radar. Danny Sullivan from Search Engine Land and Marketing Land. I've been following him for a year. I've never talked to him before. I've been plussing his post for probably a year, resharing what I thought was relevant to my followers. And 2 months ago, he private messaged me.
Nice.
And so he is more in a different area of what I am. He's into SEO and different things like that. But that goes to show you that if you are consistent with that, people read their notifications, and if they see your face and name in that notification bell every day, they're going to remember who you are.
Right. And then there's a fine line between doing that and stalking somebody, right? I mean, the last thing that we want to do is to actually, stalk or even give the impression that we're stalking.
Unless it's Leo DiCaprio or George Clooney, I don't think stalking is acceptable.
Or Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Okay, as we're getting close to winding down, I want to give my panelists the opportunity to either ask some final questions or some closing thoughts on today's broadcast. So let's start with Christine. Oh, you're muted, Christine.
Okay, guy go, garbage in, garbage out. I couldn't unmute. I am speechless, really. It's just refreshing to meet and network with and learn from other entrepreneurs who are just like me. I do believe that as entrepreneurs, yes, we do have to close the sale, but I don't believe that we should lead in with that. And there are too many entrepreneurs that is at the forefront. And I totally agree with you, Wade. When we let go and release that and first focus on the relationship, as Bob Berg says, who's one of my ultimate mentors when it comes to go-giving, that's when the magic happens. So I just, again, want to thank you for being so transparent. I'm totally crushing on you right now. So I'm going to mute myself and allow the rest of the panel to share. But thanks again.
Thank you. Hey, Christine, thank you for joining us here today. It's always a pleasure to have you on. I hope you'll be a more frequent panelist with us because you just bring like joy and greatness to the panel. So thank you, Christine.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, Dennis, what have you got to say, my man?
I'm not well known for being this quiet. And I have just been a sponge today. I too am totally crushing on you, Wade. We've crossed paths a couple of times, but not a whole lot. And I absolutely love the way that you are going about what you're doing. There's a lot of alignment with some of the things that I'm doing, and I so often feel like the way I'm going about things is just so bizarre. I mean, I dreaded the day that I had 1,000 followers. It was not a celebration. I had all these people reach out to me, congratulations, and I just love that my numbers are small and my engagement is high, and that's important to me. It's about the relationships with a few really key people for me, and I love that you've put together a system for that. Guys,
let me speak on that just a second, if you don't mind. Don't be afraid of the large numbers, and I know you're not, but I get what you're saying about you can be more specific with people when you have a smaller group that's paying attention to you. I definitely get that. The Dunbar system, if you've ever heard of that, there's a Dunbar number that says that Wade Harman and James Pierce and anybody else can only have a certain number of people, an inner circle number, say I think it's 150 or something like that. But these are the people that you can feel connected with, and they can feel connected with you. So, I've got almost 14,000 followers on Google+, but only 150 can feel connected with me. That is false. I can feel connected to 150, but 14,000 can feel connected to me. Right. It's called the abstract relationship. It's when you see somebody like Chris Brogan or Rand Fishkin, these guys that are doing this great, awesome work. Rand does the Whiteboard Fridays. He's got probably millions of people that just love him to death. His beard, the way he talks and the way he acts is just funny. He connects with people, but he doesn't know all these people. But there's people that are connected to him still yet because of the way he is on camera and the way he portrays himself. So you can actually have more people feel connected with you, feel that connection, and you not feel it at all, but you just be personal to everybody across the board. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, Kristen, so what are your thoughts, comments, ideas, final questions?
Yeah. I had a really good one, and it was something that we haven't talked about today. And, of course, I just was getting sucked into Wade. So I'll just have to put it in the comments later. But, yeah, just thank you, Wade. Like, I've been working with you. You've been working with me. And I've just really appreciated everything that I've been learning and our time that we've been engaging. It's really great. And I mean, the reason why I have KristenDrysdale.com is because there was WadeHarman.com. Right. I don't want to have another formula because I see the formula that works.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, hey, Kit, what do you think?
You have KristenDrysdale.com? I need to check that out first.
Oh, it's not done yet.
Oh, it's not done yet. Okay. Well, I have so many things to say. First of all, I apologize for the squeaky noise. My puppy is playing with this chew toy, and so Lee Rickler was wondering what that squeaky noise is. So I apologize for that. Secondly, you know what? Kristen and Dennis, you guys are too late because I've been crushing on Wade from day one that I've been on Google+. Even when he had the other hairstyle, he still looked handsome. Let me tell you that. But he's been like one of, and I was just telling Wade this when we brought him on the show that I was really intimidated to ask him. I've been wanting to ask him on the show for a really long time, but I've always been very intimidated because I think of him as one of the, kind of the elite group of Google+, and so I'm always scared to approach that group. And I thought I was being presumptuous by asking him to come on my show, but I look at you and you're just so approachable, and I just feel bad that I didn't try to connect with you sooner, on a deeper level, but I'm going to change that. And finally, I was just watching Lainey's show the other day where she talks about experts and how there are fake experts and genuine experts, and the true experts never call themselves experts. So when you said you're a relationship marketing enthusiast, you didn't call yourself an expert, and I think that is the mark of an expert. And when you're an expert, other people call you an expert. So I'm going to tell you, and this whole panel and the Dream audience is going to tell you that you are an expert, and we just love you. So thank you so much for coming on our show. Dream audience, Dream team, as always, we love you.
We do. And hey, Wade, I have a challenge for you. As we're closing out the show, I don't even know if all of our panelists are aware, but Dustin Stout is going to join us next week. Who's another kind of, in my mind, another iconic figure. So I thought, well, what about closing out the show with maybe like a throwdown challenge between you and Dustin? Because I know you guys are buds. So do you want to throw down a challenge to Dustin?
Oh, sure. I'll throw something down. Dustin,
the Wade Harman throwdown.
If you think you can beat me at Photoshop, bring it on, buddy. I
love it. Throw Throw it down, Wade. I love it. A good old-fashioned throwdown. All right, Dustin, you're going to have to bring it. You're going to have to bring it. We want to see evidence next week. So, wow. Wade, thank you. Another great Get Busy guest. You were awesome today. I'm blown away. I know all of our panelists are blown away. Great advice. You're just a great person. We love having just great people on the show who are real, who are transparent, who are authentic, and just want to do good in the world. Okay, Kit, you've got a comment?
No, Carmen says this event was too short, and I have to agree.
So Wade, I hope for sure that you will definitely come back and join us again. You always have an open invitation on Get Busy. You're a Get Busy rock star, so
Cool, thank you.
Thank you once again for joining us. Thank you, Dream Team. We look forward to another great show next week, and we will see you later. Thank you, guys.
Oh, and buy Wade's course today. You're getting a great discount. So.
Oh, yes. Yes. Please, we'll have all of the details about that in the comments section, and I think I might have even put a link in the event section itself. If I haven't, we'll be sure to get it up there. And have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.